might need to come to you from the Department of Corrections over here. I got to tell you, I'm a little bit unclear. It was made yesterday. Sean Strickland is fighting Israel Adesanya. Okay, that was yesterday. Last night, Sean Strickland will do the fight with Adesanya, but he's going to need a boost in pay. Said this publicly. The worst way to get a boost in pay is to ask for it publicly. And I do believe that Sean knows that, and Sean has been given boosts in pay before, and he's never done it publicly. So I think that he understands these things. So you could chalk that up to a guy that's working, he's just trying to do an interesting interview. But either way, if we're to take that information that we've now been given, Izzy and Sean is not done. That's a big difference. That's a big, big difference. If you got a whole bunch of other 85-pounders that think they have a compelling argument for it, and now you find out that the fight isn't done, oh, and by the way, we got to go talk. We got to talk about one thing we don't want to talk about, which is money. You got an opportunity to steal that fight. And Sean is much too smart to know that. He is much too smart to come out and publicly let the world know this isn't done. So I didn't know how to take it. I just simply didn't know how to take it. Is it done or not? Because, you got a real fight on your hands here. If you've made a match and now, right, if you're turning to the bridesmaid, if you're already coming down, the blonde bomber came out on Twitter. He said, I'm not hating. Congratulations, Sean. But I'll admit I'm a little bit confused. I had won 5 in a row before I was put in a match that was said to be the match that I needed to go on for the title. You've won 2 in a row. You've won 2 of your last 4. It was something along these lines. I don't know what Sean's record is, but I'm real close. And Derek said, I'm not hating. He just said, he was making an observation. And there is a belief within this sport, which means you guys think that you have to have won your previous fight. And that is a very odd thing to believe. And when the fellow fighters believe it and they accept it, it becomes a cultural thing. And then they speak and they behave like that. Well, this is a deal amongst men and this is where we're at. And no other sport does that. I have seen LeBron lose on Tuesday, leave the court with his head down, and on Thursday, be crowned world champion and MVP. He lost, and 2 days later, became world champion. I've seen that. That's how real sports work. In real sports, with any kind of competitive feel, you win some and you don't win some. And you have a day that's a crowning moment. And I bring that to you because there's some very strong arguments out there right now. You're going to have to get Izzy's attention. You're going to be somebody that Izzy wants to fight. There's some moving parts to this, but there's some strong arguments. Nobody's making them. They don't think that they have the right. Robert Whittaker has made it very clear to all of us that he is the next best thing within that division. If he finds himself in a semifinal, but the guy that beats him backs down because an interview didn't go his way, let's risk reward it. If the guy that beats him backs down for any reason, he moves on due to Survivor Clause. Of course he would be the next best thing. Of course he would be the top contender. Of course he would. We proved and established there's one guy in front of him. That guy's not going to do it. It comes back to him. That's obvious. That makes sense. Well, no, not to you guys. No, he lost his last fight. He can't even ask for it. He can't even speak up. He can't even do an interview. It's all true. That is how our industry believes that this should work. Charles Oliveira said 3 different ways, including in writing on social media, that he doesn't want to fight Islam. Benny DeRouche should then be fighting Islam. The only person that's told you that is me. I can't do it. I need Benny to do it. I need Benny to do it, and I'll throw gas on it. I'll get the message out there, and we'll get the fight. Benny believes that he can't fight Islam because he lost his last fight. That's what he believes. He believes that in his heart. He's 8-1 in his last 9. He has the most impressive record, but that one came most recently, and therefore, in his mind, he can't do the fight. To the point that he doesn't even ask for it. And I'm just sharing with you, if you got a guy that's the guy, and he's holding out for money publicly, it's a big problem. The want the money, all of that, that's all fair game. That's all above board. Publicly changes things. I'm not predicting for you that it is. I believe that match is locked in. I believe that interview was to have a little bit of fun. But if it wasn't, right, it's one of those interesting positions where you could defer back to the tweet that Derek Brunson put out, and you could start to learn a few things from that. You could start taking that apart and picking that apart, and you could start to go from there. It's interesting. A day ago, we were told the fight was done. Last night, we're told it wasn't.